Hey guys, Professor Bill, Comic Book University, and Lodger, issue number 1. All right, I'm going to tell you straight up. Do not think that you're going to read this and understand it. And after you've read it the third time, do not think that you're going to understand this. Okay, let's move on from there and talk about who made this book. So, I'm going to butcher a couple of names, but this part 1 is called Existential Crisis in Blossom, written by David and Maria Lapham, cover and art by David Lapham, variant cover by Bill Sienkiewicz, edited by Shelley Bond, and Lodger is created by the Laphams. So, there's this girl, and her name is Ricky, and she's going around and she's trying to find this dude. We think it's because he was with her, and she's a little girl. She's young. She's really young. But she, like what, 18, something like that, maybe 17. Anyway, from a small town, and she's going out and she's trying to look for this dude for whatever reason. There's kind of a reason given, but you get the feeling that it's a lot more than that. And this guy, he is going around killing people apparently. The women he's with are whatevs, and some weirdly weird stuff, like looks like some mystical stuff happening. Don't know if there's a curse, don't know if it's something else entirely, but it's something. It's something, all right. Anyway, this guy is a traveler, and I mean that in more than one ways. He seems to be a skin changer, and no, I don't mean that in the lycanthropy sort of way. I don't mean that he's a werewolf. No, he's taking on the shape of other people's bodies somehow, and it's really disturbingly weird. But that's not even the weirdest part of this. Guys, I think that, heads up, I don't like to read about books before I actually read the books. I don't like to look up things. I'll find a book and somebody will suggest it to me and I'll read it, or I'll like the cover or the name and I'll read it, and so on and so forth. In this particular case, it was recommended. One person recommended. I was like, yeah, I'll give it a shot. I'll try anything, Let me try it. It's in issue number 1. Should be pretty easy to jump on. Nope. The advice I can give you when you're reading this is to understand that the text narration boxes and the word bubbles are not the same person. Okay? Not that they're not written by the same person. No, 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 no. That's not what I'm suggesting at all. What I am saying is these are two totally different people. I'm not talking about associative personality disorder. I'm talking about they are two entirely different people. I read this book 3 times, and I still don't understand it. I understand a little bit more each time, but we're clearly not presented with the entire story. Now, some things also don't make a lot of sense. The girl talks to herself a lot. At least I imagine she's talking to herself, but she's also giving names. She says at one point, "Let's go, gold digger. Let's see if this town passes the smell test," or something like that. Who the hell is she talking to? Who's gold digger? What the hell is she talking about? You know? And then you move on later on. It says G period D period. And I'm wondering, are they saying God, but they don't want to write God or say God? Like, maybe they're Jewish, so they don't want to say or write the name of God because that would be a bad thing. In which case, okay, it would be nice if we could have that little bit of an understanding. I think on average, your average person doesn't know that Jews don't like to say God or write God because not cool. So they'll do the G period D thing. I grew up in a pretty religious household, and I was curious to explore other religions, and therefore, came across finding out more about other religions, comparative religion classes, whatever. But I just find it interesting, like really interesting, that they're willing to say the F word and all sorts of other words, but they won't say God. That was interesting. It just further helps to confuse the storyline because you don't know what that is, and who the heck is Gold Digger? What the heck are they talking about? Anyway, she's following this person because of the blog. All right. The blog is called Lodger. All right, he's a lodger. He lodges in different towns and then moves on and writes about it. And apparently makes money doing that, or he steals the money from the people who he takes. Like, it's really, really weird, and that's probably one of the reasons why I love the comic book so much. I know you guys are like, wait, what? I'm not gonna put this in my pull box because that's not what I usually do. What I will say is I'm gonna kind of leave this up to fate. All right. If this comic book finds its way to me, the second issue, I will absolutely read it and review it and hopefully love it. So if I see it on the shelves at my comic book store next week, boom, I'll grab it. If someone reminds me of it later on and I've already left the comic book store, I'll grab it from Comixology. Whatevs, man. We good. You know? If not, then I guess it just wasn't meant to be. But that's just basically my take on this. Really interesting book. I love the way that the story is going. But yeah, wow, this is weird. And I don't think anything's going to be understood until this book is actually finished being written. Anyway, also reading all the way in the back, these are the Laphams, if I'm pronouncing their name right. These are really weird people, and I think they're doing that on purpose. So, yeah, I will absolutely recommend that you go and check out this book. This looks like it could be a lot of fun, especially, hopefully we get some more issues, or some more questions answered, but I'm actually hoping to get more questions also in the next issue. This is fun. This is fun. I like a book that doesn't just tell you what's going on. So, yeah, that's exactly what this does. It's like, you want answers? Yeah, we all want something in life. It's good to want things, right? Anyway, go check it out. Professor Bill, Comic Book University. Class dismissed.